Electricast.
Hello and welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, your host, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist. This is an empowerment program with guests from all over the world who will share their light and their gifts of art, knowledge and wisdom to inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Hello everyone, welcome to Abracadabra. We're here, we have a great program today. You see my, it's kind of an artist hat a little bit. We are in a Purim edition and it is great to have you here. However form and shape you are welcome. You are light and you are here for a reason. We are here for a reason. We have a great show. I'm iLan Azoulai and I have a great guest for today, Rachel Schwartz. She's a Kabbalistic Astrologer, and we're going to touch about many things that have to do with you, with your journey, with our journey as a collective, as an individual. And today, we are almost on the evening of Purim, which is a Jewish holiday, really commemorating our Jewishness as people. And Judaism and the Torah is not just for the Jewish people, it's for everybody, because there are great life lessons, great lessons for daily activities and daily communication between each one of us. Doesn't matter if you're wearing this hat, or doesn't matter if you're wearing this hat, but really this is really an empowerment for you to bring your gifts out and to shine to the world, and for us to share wisdom and information. So I want to talk about Purim. Purim is a Jewish holiday that is one of the most, if not the most important Jewish holidays in the Jewish calendar. Primarily, the point that I'm looking at it was the time that the people chose the work, chose to be close. It wasn't because, if you don't do this, you'll become that, or if it wasn't a punishment thing. It was actually a survival and coming together and wanting to be together as one. And look at yourself also and your life around. What are the times that you come together? What are the times that you find yourself united? Do you find yourself united when everything is hunky-dory and everything is beautiful? I mean, everybody wants a bite of that plate. But really, what is the time that is uniting? From my experience, really, hopefully we can evolve out of this experience, because as Rachel will talk about, there are many things that are coming out that we can unite, not just from suffering or pain, but to unite from understanding and love and connection and kindness and compassion. So this is really where I want us to look at. Now, the story of Purim is involving three main characters, or many more characters. But there is Esther, the Queen Esther, the cousin of Mordechai, the Jewish person that was sitting at the gates and did not want to bow to the second in command to the king. He didn't want to bow down to Haman, and Haman had everything. He was the second to the command and second to the king, and he had everything. But it wasn't good enough, because he wanted Mordechai to bow, but he really wanted Mordechai to be annihilated. And the story goes, and we'll make it very short, that he plotted to kill Mordechai, and he built a tree, and turned out that Haman and his family were hung on it, and the Jews received the rights as human beings, just like each one of us. Okay, so growing up, we're talking about Mordechai the Jew, Mordechai, but really, I feel that there is a lot of missing points about who really actually did the work. And who did the work is Esther. And I feel personally that Esther, as a woman, as a divine creation that actually, from creation standpoint, is more evolved than male counterpart, did not get a proper credit. And I want to talk about this with Rachel. I want to share with you at these times, turbulent times in Israel, and my heart is out to everybody that is experiencing pain. I talk a lot about Mati Kaspi, the Sting / Stevie Wonder of Israel, the person who the musical culture is built really around him, and he really shaped everything that has to do with music, with rhythm, bringing Brazilian music to Israel. He's alive, and I had the blessing of working with him and creating 3 of his videos. But yesterday he performed with the Israeli Philharmonic, and performing with the Philharmonic is not a small thing. He does all the arrangements and everything. And yesterday he performed, and in an unprecedented act, he actually sang the national anthem with the people to unite. It was a point of unification. We've experienced all over the world segregation, separation. And this is about unifying, coming together, understanding that our love and connection and kindness is way stronger and way more beneficial than anything else, especially anything negative. And so he's talking about that his heart is burning, his soul is burning, and let's sing a song that unites everybody. And he sang the anthem. This is really a heartfelt moment, and you who know me, you sure love Mati Kaspi. I have to share this. This is wonderful. There you go.
טוב, אנחנו נאור משנת הצהריים, ואנחנו בשנה של בעירה, וגם בי זה בוער, ואני רוצה פניי לא לכיוון אחד, פניי לכל הכיוונים, ואני חושב שנכון יהיה שכולנו נשיר עכשיו ביחד שיר שהוא מאחד בעצם את כולם, את כל הכיוונים.
So that was a wonderful moment, tears in my eyes. And with tears of joy, I want to invite my wonderful, talented, great guest, Rachel Schwartz. Hello, Rachel. Oh, wait. There you go. Hello,
Hi,
Rachel.
how are you? That was very special.
It was very special, wasn't
You
it?
know, it's very interesting what you said because the whole thing about Queen Esther was that she said, when they had a decree, she said, I want you all to gather, fast, and pray for me, for 3 days. But the thing is that it's exactly what you said. And at the end of the day, that story, they needed a decree over their head of being killed to be in unity.
Exactly.
And the work is, and it's of course very interesting. I'm an astrologer, so of course for me everything makes sense even through the eyes of astrology, that in the month of Adar, the month of Pisces, it's exactly what you said. It's like we need to learn that to be in unity doesn't have to come through pain, through suffering, through going through a situation that is traumatic or being persecuted. It actually needs to come from the Pisces energy, which is knowing that you and I are the same, knowing that I need to care about you like I care about myself, not because I'm some kind of a saint, because it's the truth. Because in the big picture, if anybody else has pain, it's my pain too. If people
That's right.
suffer, it's my suffering too. The illusion of this existence, of the physical reality, is an illusion that we are separated. That I don't really care about what's happening with you. I don't care if you're in pain. I don't care if you're in poverty. I don't. That's an illusion because we're all part of the same thing, and that's the Pisces consciousness. So it's very, very interesting that nothing is a coincidence. Of course,
Nothing is a coincidence. Everything. Absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
the fact that we're even sitting here, you and I, you
yeah,
know, it's we've been talking about this for a while, and giving this opportunity for us and for everybody to come and to ask questions. Even sitting here together with you is as it was ordained. You know, we
yeah.
didn't see it coming. We didn't actually plan it until right,
Planned it like that. And
like
that's
that,
what I like the best, to
on
be
the fly.
spontaneous, right? Yes.
Right. It
Yeah.
is how are we with all this? How do we navigate with everything? I want to see if somebody is. Oh, yes. So what I want to do, the reason we talked about for you to be here is for people to ask questions. Now we are in the middle of our journey. You know what? We're all the time in the middle of our journey.
Yeah,
It's just a middle of a different section of the journey.
exactly.
All right.
Totally.
It's the,
There's no beginning or end, right?
there is
The
no.
spiritual reality doesn't exist. Even when we leave the world, we don't really disappear. And when we came here, we weren't just all of a sudden invented, right? It's all
Exactly.
a continuity. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was thinking about Esther, right? As I said it towards the end, and I want to hear your thoughts about that. And by the way, hopefully one day we can do a show when we're sitting in front of one another
Yes, I mean
and
we're
not.
the two opposite sides of the United States, but that's also, by the way, that a lot of times people are talking about the age of Mashiach or the age of Aquarius, the age of Messiah,
Mhm.
right? That there will not be time, space, and motion, that we're not going to be limited by those things.
That's right.
And for us, we're both Israelis, and we know that years ago it was almost impossible to maintain a normal contact with the people in our country, right? That is
That's
so
right.
far from here with different time
That's right.
zones. Remember, calling was so expensive, right? And now the connection is like, I speak with my sister. We are the same exact time with the same, right? We can see each other, and yeah, maybe we can share food, but in such
Yet,
a strong
yet.
place, maybe one day it will happen too, right? It will for sure. But I'm saying that the separation and that
Yeah.
we were feeling, even that, even though it happens supposedly with technology, but it's related to the age we're in. We are connected more and more to an age that there's no more separation, that there's no more.
Amen. That's right.
You understand? So it's like, even though it appears, I heard we had a Friday night dinner a few weeks ago, and we had a young boy over there, young, he's in college, and he's very into technology. And he said, they're creating now already a chip that you're going to put in your head, and then you think about something, you're not going to even need to say the light is going to turn on, you're going to want something, the car to run, you're going to think about it, it's going to happen. So my first thought, and I'm still thinking that, I was like, no, I'm not doing that, forget about it, I'm not putting something in my brain, right? And I'm still, I learned never to say never, but I'm still, in my head, it sounds crazy, right? But maybe this is the way that we're going to have our mind control matter, right? So it's like, it's a very interesting thing that maybe
Yes.
technology is the way that actually we're creating all that unity. And
Yes, you're right.
go ahead, sir.
We are. I don't feel that the problem lies in the technology. When you said no, I don't want. If you see why you say I don't want, it's because the trust of those who created those things and because of what is happening.
Yeah.
I don't feel that it is the technology as a matter of what the capabilities are and what the capacity of things that can happen and what we can achieve. Just like everything that starts ideologically starts with hope, starts with positivity, starts with, wow, we can do this. When things started with stem cell, it was about medicine, about what people what can we create to help? Then it soured and it went to all kind of things of creating things to create ease. Then it went into Big Brother. It's not, I don't believe, and from the little that I know of you, is that it is not the technology matter itself, but the intentions that are behind the technology-driven matters.
Absolutely. It's
The
the
intention,
mind
the
behind it.
trust. Exactly.
It's what they're going to do with it that we're scared. Of
Exactly.
course, by itself,
Yeah.
in its pure, it's like everything in life. It's not the thing, it's the energy is
It's
energy.
the
How I
intention. So,
manipulate it
yes.
or how I use it for positive or
Yes.
negative, right? And it's like, even when we talk about Queen Esther, that is the story, the heroine of the Megillah, right? But what is the thing about Queen Esther? That she, in some ways, was willing to sacrifice. She didn't want to do it in the beginning. And there was a point in the story that Mordechai is telling her, listen, I mean, if you don't do it, they'll find someone else that is going to do it. And you're gonna be forgotten, basically. And the thing is that we need to understand that whatever has to happen will happen. The question is, and what Esther did, that in my opinion was the most heroic thing, is that you said, even though someone else can do it, someone else can do it, someone else can take the responsibility. She said, yeah, but she heard what Mordechai said, and then she decided to do it, which is very important a lot of times in life, because a lot of times we see, even again, if we talk about things like the environment right now, right? Everything that is happening, we can say, okay, whatever, I'm going to just use it, and someone else is going to not use it. Or I don't want to take that responsibility. Someone else is going to stand and protest, or whatever it is. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to stay in my own little world. This is actually the hero that she was. And I think that's the what we can tap into, because the energy of Purim is about tapping into the potential that we have within us that is related to that story. So if Esther would have said, maybe someone else would do it, maybe there would have been another girl that was the queen, would be the queen. But Esther took it upon herself, and that's, in my opinion, the power, because it was scary, it was a huge thing to have all these people on your shoulders. And she was like, no, I'm going to do it. So I think that's the power there, you know?
That is great because yeah, you're right. You know, it's but if you look at the Megillah, it's all the time, and the songs that we're singing, Mordechai Yehudi, Mordechai, 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 right? And I had this question with somebody I was having a conversation with. They're saying Mordechai, Mordechai, but actually the person who actually did the action, actually there is a video I would send you of Rebbe Schneerson. There was lobbying really to recognize the power of Esther. Why? Because she did the action. You know, when we're talking about, I want to manifest something, or I have a revelation, or I have a breakthrough. Okay, that's great. But it will not be manifested if there is not an action that goes with it. Like in inventors, you know, there are tons of inventors. You know, I've invented something, stuff for a guitar. Everybody has an invention. But really, when it comes down to the bottom line, if there is no somebody who can execute it, the invention means nothing because there is no materialization of it. So then Esther is the one actually, bafal, in reality, in action, saves the Jews because of her actions. Now, then you can ask the question though, but wait, but she didn't orchestrate it. So she, like you said, like we know, she initially declined doing it. She didn't want to do that. I also think that we don't know everything that really happened. All we read is Rashi Parakim, bullet points of really what happened, because we don't know what happened 24/7. We don't happen what happened in the afternoon. You know, she took shower. Okay, we did. I mean, you know what I mean, right? We don't have everything. So we have the story of the main points. Now we have to look also at the time and the era. Very patriarchal. It wasn't really she was coerced in a way, I feel, coerced in a way to do that. We're not talking about the moral, should she do this or not, or there'll be somebody else. Talking about the fact of the matter that she was in a way coerced to do that. And I don't feel she got much of the credit for that. There is the fasting that she said, write about me for generations to come, right? She says that. So there is a recognition from her, but on the suffering part, in a way.
Yeah.
On the suffering, go and fast and you know, and torture your soul to remember how it was there, you know. So I feel that there wasn't a lot of recognition for Esther.
Yeah, I think there is. Listen, the Megillah is called Megillat Esther, and I do think that like she's considered important. But I think if I can just take what you're saying and say it in the way I see it, I think that she's more considered, like you say, not as a person that is the strong, the powerful, the mind behind it, but a person that says, okay, whatever, I'll do it. And like almost like from a weak point. And I think that you're right, because she's the strong one. She's the one that had the courage to go and accept and do it and say, and be with the Chazal, be with the king, and made certain decisions. She said, no, she is the one that eventually had to do the talking, that was stopping the other things and killing Haman and everything else, right? So yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's very right that women in our time, and it's funny, I don't know, I think it just today started women, right? Like
yes,
the Women Month.
Is it this month or on the 12th or the 11th, I think?
First, no? I'm pretty sure it's March.
No, it's March, but I think it's the 11th or the 12th.
But it's the whole month, and then there's the day, right?
Yes.
But it's interesting that we're talking about it, because it even says that one of the redemptions is going to come through women. And, you know, I think that, and again, not to offend anyone, but I think that women's egos are different. I think that, like, for women, there is a very strong need actually to try to keep, I have 3 boys and a girl. My daughter is a Pisces, but I can see how my boys, when they were playing rough. They were playing, fighting. I was like looking at them and saying, it's so interesting that they fight as a play. There's something about the masculine energy when it's on the top, that a lot of times there is like that Mars, in astrology, male energy is represented by Mars. Mars is energy of war. Mars is energy of conquer. Mars is energy of, in order for me to feel powerful, I need to win. But in order for me to win, I need to fight, right? There has to be some kind of a fighting. And when we talk about the Venus energy is much more harmonious and wanting stability and wanting balance. And of course, there are women that can be very aggressive and men that can be very gentle. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking as a general idea that like it's known that the redemption is going to come through women, the first redemption, because of that culture, that the way of thinking that women are more into unity and communication rather than war and fighting and arguing.
Well, it's home. It's nurturing. It's the caring. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is nurturing and caring. And every one of us. And I wanted to bring this point. Every one of us has an Esther. If we look at that, we have the one that sometimes we don't want to do that, but we do that, and we go beyond and we go above our comfort zone. And so each one of us can look and see, there is an Esther in me. I'm not talking just about women.
Right.
I'm not just talking about women. I'm just talking about men and women. And as far as I'm concerned, it's men and women. Yeah. It's looking at what are the qualities. What are the qualities that I see in Esther that at first you don't want to and you're coerced? But then she did it in such a brilliant way. Mordechai, the orchestrator, had to do with the outside orchestration of getting Esther into the ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then within the ring, Esther orchestrated everything with the dinners, bringing Haman to this dinner, bringing to this, creating 2 dinners, and then telling the people what to do and how. She stepped into her power.
Yeah.
She stepped into her power. Now, here is something that I heard, and I don't remember which book it is, but it's talking that Esther had the knowledge of how to use the letters and the Hebrew language to create a golem.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So to create a golem, and then she created a golem to go when Achashverosh wanted her as
okay,
wanted her as a woman, wanted her as an object or whatever that is, right?
Yes.
And then so she sent the golem to. Now, for you who are listening, golem is and it's it's referred in the movie Lord of the Rings, the golem and all this kind of thing. It comes from the creation of like a living thing, but no consciousness to it.
Exactly, putting life into something.
Life into something with no consciousness.
But there's no soul, right?
That's right. Now, the Hebrew letters and the word. How was the world created? With 10 utterances. Abracadabra, the show in Aramaic. It means I create as I speak. We are creating, and we are creating our reality. We are creating our energy. The more we speak about it, the more we intend, put the words behind it, the more we are creating. So she created that. So now, there is no any other explanation other than putting Esther down, because if she was somebody who was versed in that capacity, can't be that she was dumb.
Of course.
Can't be that she was just, do what you're being told. Although that's what it seems like that they were telling her, just do what you're being told.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think also that in the story there, we have to always remember that those stories it's nice, it's interesting, it's a cool story, but it's never really about the story. It's really about the energy that is available, right? So it's like tomorrow night we're tapping into the Purim energy, and the story is a nice story. And obviously, you and I grew up in Israel. We heard that story in school every year, and it's a nice story. And I dressed up as Queen Esther every year, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love this hat.
I don't have a costume here, but the idea is that when generally, even when we read the stories of the Bible, of the Torah, of the Nevi'im, whatever stories are there, it's there to teach us something that is relevant for now. It's an
That's
opportunity
right.
for us to tap into something of now, right? So when we talk about Esther, and what was her power there, I think that, like, besides the fact that she found that place in her that was like, okay, I'm scared, I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to push myself out of my comfort zone. It's the true leadership. I was reading from Maimonides, from the Rambam,
Mm-hmm.
and he says that people that want rulership, that want to be in a place of power, they shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
The people who don't want to be there should be there, which is very interesting, because everybody that rules everywhere in the world, I would say, right, comes from a place like, I want to be the person that is in leadership. Why? Because of power, because of respect, because of money, because of, like, right? That's what it is, no matter what. Eventually, when people get to that place, it's about that. But actually, we can tap into that place of, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moses was also a Pisces.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, Zayin Adar. He didn't want.
Is it today? I think it's today. Or no,
Zayin was last week. It was the 7th. It's the 7th of
7th.
Adar, and Purim, it's a week before. But think about it, that like the Pisces energy is very much about humility. And on Tuesday, where besides the fact that it's the Purim, it's also once every 29 years, Saturn gets to a certain point, and it takes 29 years to orbit the sun. And on Tuesday, it's going to go into the sign Pisces, which is so interesting that we're talking about all that from the perspective of the Saturn in Pisces for us. What does it mean? Does it mean for us that, like, even if I really don't want that responsibility, I really don't want that leadership, I really don't want that headache. If I'm in a place that I feel I don't really want it, where can I push myself to say, actually, I'm the person probably to do it. I'm the person who has to take that place and responsibility. And I think this is an interesting thing to work on in the next 2.5 years when Saturn is in Pisces, because Saturn is related to responsibility. So how do we tap in? And Pisces is related to sacrifice. So Esther, Queen Esther, she sacrificed for the people. But again, where are we willing to sacrifice? Where are we willing to go out of our comfort zone for our partners in life, for our children, for the people we work with, for just people that are part of our community, or the people of Earth? Where are we really willing to sacrifice? And I think this is the place, the sacrificing from a place of being willing to take responsibility and leadership. That's what we can tap into also Purim, and the fact that Saturn is moving to Pisces on that very same day.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. I was just thinking about, you're saying 29 years. That's 29 years I'm here in the States.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Fascinating. Yeah, it's totally fascinating. And tapping into, it's the exact opposite, because what you're talking about is actually going from our comfort zone to, and not necessarily comfort zone, but to do something that is different.
Yeah.
And that's actually the whole idea of Purim. V'na'afochu, everything is, because the Jewish faith, the Jewish people were on the brink of annihilation, and everything flipped in a flip of a day or less than a
Right.
day.
Nahaf hu, exactly.
So the holiday is also commemorated as upside down.
Yeah.
Like everything is upside down. Let's flip. So that's why also we dress up.
Right.
Oh, right. We dress up and we put Jean travaille à Cassipon, exactly the opposite than what we are.
Yeah.
And also, it is a common practice to get drunk until you wouldn't know between the good and the bad.
Right.
That's the idea. So you don't know between the good and bad, and then you choose. Right? You
So
can't.
interesting, right?
Fascinating. It's
Yeah. The
fascinating.
opposite, and in Purim, the idea is really that when we tap into the understanding, you know what I love about the consciousness of opposite is that so many times we see things in a certain way, but really it's opposite of it. Like we
Yeah.
think, like let's say we think somebody doesn't like us,
It's
and
all in
really
our head. It's all in our head.
it's in our
It's in
head.
our head.
And many times it's they, maybe I don't like them. Or some, right, like, or I
Totally true.
can't get what I want. Do I really want it? A lot of times the reality, because our mind, and it's of course the month of Adar, Pisces is the strongest time to see that. There's so much illusion, there's so much misconception, like that we think of something, but really the reality is completely opposite of it. So I think that
Totally.
it's another thing, right, to tap into the understanding that could it be opposite of what I think? Could it be that I see one thing, but actually it's completely opposite? And to really try to tap into that consciousness that by me thinking that it could be that my negative beliefs or my fears are actually just illusionary and the reality can be a completely opposite. Even that crack, the doubt that we put in our doubts can eventually create certainty and openness and abilities to do things that we don't believe we can do, you know? So
That's so true. This, you know, absolutely. It's, and because we are so in the Purim also is referring to Olam Shene'elam, a world that is unseen. So we are, as you say, we are in an illusion here. In Kabbalistic terms, it's called He'alem, Olam Ne'elam,
yeah,
a world that is disappeared.
vanishing, disappearing, yeah.
Exactly, that it's here, but it's not here. It's here. It's like a magician, or he says, "Look what I'm doing here," but actually he's doing everything here.
Right, right.
Everything is disappearing. So we can get so caught up and believing in our story. And this is what, and it came up yesterday when I was talking to a couple of clients, a couple that they were in a fight, in an argument in the same room, and he left, and he wanted to tell her that he actually loves her, but he doesn't think that she appreciates that, for example. And this is a real story. And I asked him, did you tell her that? And he said, no. So, well, why did you tell her that? How is she going to know? Well, how is she going to know what you meant by that? So, well, I thought that this and this and that. And I showed him everything that happens, everything that we see happens only here. And it
Right,
takes a lifetime sometimes to realize that. Everything is happening only here. So
right,
Olam Olech V'Ne'elam, we may be so consumed with our obsession about it is true, what we believe, that we don't see the other thing. And the number one to say is to a couple, especially, well, let's say in this case, you are right and you are right.
yeah,
They're both right, because in their mind, in their world, that is truth. In
right.
his world, that is truth. So this is fascinating. I want to acknowledge everybody who is here. Hello, Gina. Hello, Kimberly, Angela. Kimberly said, "Yes, that's right. We're talking about technology earlier. Technology is only good if you use it for the benefit of improving the lives of people. Of course,
Yeah,
totally.
right. And by the way,
Yeah.
I think that also what you said about in relationships, it's the strongest, it's the most intense place that we see how two people can say one thing and the other person will hear something opposite.
Totally.
And the way, again, in my opinion, to make it, besides the communication, is also to understand that we should know that we probably see things through our very subjective ways, right? Like, and not to go to the place of the emotion and the drama, but to ask, what do you mean by that? Or not to jump into conclusions because we are so limited by our five senses, through our emotions, right? So I'm just saying it's something that is, there's so much more to talk about with that, right? And I know it's short.
Totally.
We will do more of that.
I want, if anybody has a question, I mean, this is really the spot. We are live. This is not a recording. Well, next time when you'll see it, it'll be a
exactly. When other people see it, will be a recording.
But we will not tell you, so you don't know if it's recorded. But no, it's really live. It's right here. It's March 5th, and so if you have any questions, fire it up, and we'll present it and see how it can play into our conversation. So this is fascinating. So what are you doing for Purim?
What am I going to be?
Are you doing something? Are you going out?
We're going to hear the Megillah. We're going to do a little party. Listen, we're going to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I'm not a drinker, but there's one day a year that I like to do it. And it's Purim, and actually it's a mitzvah. It's like it's a part of the way to celebrate the holiday. In order for us to tap into that consciousness of Mashiach, of redemption, of that unity, on that day we have to do three things. We have to give gifts to the poor. We have to make some kind of a party, right? And we have to give it. We have to be charitable, right? And mishloach manot, to give each other things.
Gifts
and it's such a nice holiday that all you have to do is just to feast and be happy. And I just want to say that, they say that after all the holidays are going to be gone in the time of Mashiach, the only holiday that will still be around is the holiday of Purim. No other restrictions anymore, right?
Drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Drinking, partying, having fun, laughing. What a great day to celebrate, right? So happy holiday, my dear.
Happy holiday. Thank you. Happy Purim to you. I want to say, people are hearing the word Mashiach. Some of them may know what it is, some what we're referring to. But Mashiach means Messiah. But I want to emphasize, and you and I talked about this, Mashiach is not necessarily, what we've been dogmatized to believe, that there is somebody with a hat, a beard, and all this. It's really a consciousness level. It's how are we shifting? We're already there, I mean, we're kind of like one leg here still, and there's still one leg in the other paradigm. But it's kind of like a shift in our consciousness, and that's, we're talking about Moses and the gifts to those who are unable. Moses teaches us great lessons in leadership, and that's happened actually in around Sukkot, around that time, where he's showing that there are three key elements to be a great country as a society and as a person, but as a society, is first of all, always remember where you come from. Always to remember where we come from. And so not to forget, many times we forget where we come from and it goes to the head. And the second one is always take care of those who are not able. Those are the weak, those are the people that are not able to sustain themselves. And what did we see in the last 2 years? The annihilation of those who are unable, or those who are sick and so forth. And we can go, it's a whole different story. And the third part is to remember that there is God. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about understanding that there is a reason that we're not melted by the sun and we're not frozen by the space. There is a reason that the sun is standing exactly at that particular corner, so the water the water that we have here on Earth, we think that water, it's natural, מצב צבירה, it's natural, how do you say it?
מצב צבירה.
The natural state of water is liquid. But if we look at the amount of water in the entire galaxies, the natural state is ice, is solid.
Yeah.
And there is the gas. So what we see the comets is the gas from the heat. And to be water, it has to be the exact temperature away from the sun. Otherwise, it would either be frozen or evaporated.
Right. And besides the physical part of it, there's the whole idea of God is to understand that we belong to a bigger totality, and we are here for a certain reason. We came to this world, we came to Earth, we chose to come here to learn, to grow. It's not something that is just like a random thing. It's like,
exactly.
I think the idea of God or connecting to God is to understand that everything that is happening here is happening so I can grow from it, and that I belong to something and I create reality with the creator. So, but this is for another time. Right?
This is for another time. Listen,
right? It's like that we can talk about for an hour without thinking.
Rachel, it's so great to have you. Anybody who is here, please, if you will have you will decide to have a session with Rachel and to talk with her, you'll be blown away. She's amazing. She taps right into your soul, finds the point, and twists it out to grow. Twist it out, get you out of your...
in a good way.
All the time in a good way, all the time. Twist in a way that gets really the essence of the nectar out of you, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So Rachel, I'll put the links at the comments after the broadcast. Her page is Rachel the Astrologer or Rachel Schwartz. Listen, it's such a, we've been talking about doing this for such a long time.
Right.
And
it happened.
And it happened.
It will happen more. So stay tuned.
It couldn't happen better than today. It really happened in a perfect timing.
It's always the best. It's always the right time for everything, right?
Amen.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Thank you very much.
To everybody, whether you celebrate or not, it's such a powerful energy. So have a drink at least tomorrow night.
Have a drink, Evan. Have a drink, especially this week, just tomorrow night. It's great. And the manifestation, think about, imagine. Here's one thing I want you to take from another thing. Imagine where you are already, because what will be already happened.
Yeah. Amazing.
What will be already happened. Imagine where you are. How does it feel to be in that place?
Totally.
And that will be the beginning. That'll be the beginning of manifesting. If you like, please click like and share. I'm iLan Azoulai here on this Facebook and YouTube channel, iLan Azoulai. And thank you, Rachel, very much for being here.
Thank you guys for listening. And
thank you for everybody for being here and for filling the wall with some texts. And Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, everyone.
Let me put this. All right.
Electricast.
Hello and welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, your host, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist. This is an empowerment program with guests from all over the world who will share their light and their gifts of art, knowledge and wisdom to inspire you to be the best version of yourself.